We are in Parashat Balak, and of course the theme of the parasha is when Balak, the son of Tzipor, goes to Bilam. He sees the nation of Israel moving closer and closer forward to him, and he's starting to get upset and starting to get nervous because he sees how they defeated huge armies like Sichon and Og. And now he's this little country, and he's worried. And he goes to Bilam and asks him to curse. Not even asking, he's hiring him. He's offering him a lot of money. So in general, this is the theme of the parasha, but nevertheless, something very good comes out of it. Because we know that there are two certain individuals in the Torah that were never forgiven, and we should not forgive them or chas v'shalom stop hating them. The Torah is not promoting us to hate anybody, and the Torah is always promoting us to forgive and to do peace. Besides the two people, one of them is Amalek, and the other one is Balak. These are the two people that the Torah says no forgiveness here, no forgiveness, and don't stop hating them. Why Balak? Because Balak is the one who initiated it. Bilam he's just the mercenary. He just got money. He just got a suitcase full of money. But nevertheless, even if you remember the beginning, Bilam was like, no, I don't want to do it. So the Torah is referring to Balak, specifically Balak, and also Balak is the tze'atzah of Moab, and he's a great grandson of Lot. But nevertheless, the Torah is specific about these two individuals, that these are the two ones that we should not forgive and not stop hating, rather continue hating them. And these are the true enemies of our nation, because they want to destroy us but entirely. They're not coming to destroy us with an agenda. Most of the other ones had an agenda. You take, for example, Paro. Paro is afraid of us. Paro said, listen, if I'm not going to destroy them, they'll overpower me. So I'm not justifying his agenda. I'm just saying he had an agenda. Balak didn't have an agenda. But nevertheless, the good part that comes out of it is that all the good prophecies that we have about the coming of Mashiach is coming from that. So obviously, with all the darkness that it had, still something very positive came out of it, which of course is the prophecy that we see in this parasha. Even Moshe Rabbeinu didn't give such a prophecy. But nevertheless, we see how from that darkness something good came out of it. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about something different today. Even though the theme is the curse, and the cursing and the blessing, but of course the Torah has many other things behind the scenes. And the parasha starts with the words Vayar Balak. Vayar can be interpreted as, and he saw, from the word Re'iyah, and Vayar can also be from the word Yir'ah. He had fear, that he saw the nation coming closer and he started to fear. So we're going to read from the Noam Elimelech and from the teachings of Elimelech from Lizhansk. And this is the first ma'amar in the section of Balak, if you want to follow. And he says that parasha starts with the word Vayar Balak ben Tzipor. Balak ben Tzipor saw, the son of Tzipor, either saw or was attacked with fear. But in order to explain what we want to talk about here, he says, "U'mitchila nagdim lefaresh pasuk acher." Let's first explain a different pasuk that can be found in the book of Yeshayahu, specifically in chapter 25. And he says, let's first, 26, sorry. And he says, let's first explain this pasuk. What does this pasuk says? Pitchu she'arim, open gates, ve'yavo goy tzadik, and a Gentile, a goy, who's a righteous Gentile, will come, and he calls him shomer emunim. Shomer emunim is somebody that is very trustworthy. Somebody, emun is when I put my trust in somebody, and shomer is a guard. So this is a very famous verse in the book of Yeshayahu. And he says, the Gemara explains it as follows. Deita b'Gemara, pitchu li petach kesidko shel machat, v'ani eftach lachem kipitcho shel ulam. I'm sure you ever heard the term that the Kadosh Baruch Hu says, and this is can be found in the Talmud, that Hashem says, open me an opening, a hole, in the size of the crack of a needle, and I will open you a hole in the size of a stadium. I'm sure you heard that term, very, very famous. That Hashem says, I don't need you to do much, just show me a little bit, I'll already do the rest. And again, it's using here the same word, pitchu, open, and it's actually not saying a hole, it says sha'ar. Sha'ar is a gate. It's more precise to say, pitchu sha'arim. Open me a gate, even if it's like, the needles, they have like this little hole on the top to, how's it called?
The eye of a needle.
Eye of a needle, to put the thread in. Hashem says, I only need a little crack like that, I'll already show you I can change the world for you. And this is what the Talmud says. And he says, V'zeu pitchu sha'arim. This is why there's also a verse in Tehillim, we just read it today, when we mentioned the date, we say today is the first day of the week, Hayom Yom Rishon b'Shabbat, the first Sunday, first day of Shabbat. We also read another chapter from Tehillim when we say, Pitchu li sha'arei tzedek. But nevertheless, he says, V'zeu pitchu sha'arim. This is what it means, open to me gates. What does it mean, open gates? Perush pitchu sha'arei tshuva. Open the gates of tshuva. Yesterday we did Havdalah, Baruch Hashem. And before we do Havdalah, we read a certain prayer where we're asking Hashem to open us different gates. I mentioned that a couple times. Some people do it during Havdalah, some people read it during the fourth meal, Melave Malka. But nevertheless, there's all these gates that we're asking Hashem to open to us. I told you already the story once with the Baal Shem Tov, when he was asking which gate is the most important one, which we concluded it as the gates of Sayata Deshmaya, help from the heavenly assistance. But there's many other gates, the gates of livelihood, Sha'arei Parnasa, Sha'arei Yira, the gates of fear. Open the Siddur, you'll see all the gates. There's one gate that's called Sha'arei Tshuva, the gates of Tshuva. I mean, we are constantly coming to Hashem and asking for forgiveness. And I know it's hard to believe, but very soon is Yom Kippur already. Yom Kippur is already crawling, it's around the corner. We're in Av in a few weeks. In 2 weeks we're already in Av. All you have Av Elul, that's it. We're back into Yom Kippur. It's unbelievable how the year just went by. And nevertheless, on Yom Kippur, we constantly say the Adofkim b'adlatot tshuva, the ones who are knocking on the doors of tshuva. So we're constantly asking the Kadosh Baruch Hu to open us gates of tshuva, because I don't know if you notice it, but everybody is experiencing difficulties to do tshuva. And sometimes you want to do tshuva. We just spoke now the morning class about the purity of our eyes, guarding our eyes, the purity of the man's purity, guarding the brit. How many men are so aware of the problem and they so want to stop the problem and they can't? And they battle with it over and over and years. Why? Why can they finally overcome the problem? The same way, there's a lot of people who are trying to do tshuva and they constantly fall back to whatever sin it is, whatever te'avad, whatever desire it is. So there are situations, believe it or not, that the gates of tshuva are closed, that you're knocking and, sorry, nobody's home. Go away, I don't want you here. So this is something that one chas v'shalom should not experience, that the gates of tshuva are closed for him. Our sages explain that when a person, for whatever reason, arouses some mercy from Shamayim, the Kadosh Baruch Hu will come and say, today I'm giving you a coupon, 100% off, just do tshuva today. You do tshuva today, I will accept. The person says, no, there's a party tonight, I don't want to miss that party, I'll come to tshuva tomorrow. Hashem says, okay, no problem. Hashem comes tomorrow, knocks on the door, the person says, I know I promised you to do tshuva today. Hashem says, listen, yesterday it was 100% coupon, today it's already 90%. You want? No, you know what? Tonight I have a date. It's not very convenient for me to do tshuva today. I'll come maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow Hashem comes and says, no, you ready? If you're ready, today's already 80%. Yesterday was 90 and 100. Today the coupon is only 80%. Until you get to a point that the Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you a coupon and says today is only 5%. And you might lose the coupon. And then when you finally want to do tshuva, Hashem says, listen, I came and knocking on your door. How many times? 1,500 times? You ignored me, so I'm sorry to tell you the windows of opportunity is out. Wait another whatever amount of time till another gate of opportunity will open. So I'll put you on the waiting list. You know, sometimes they put you on waiting lists. What do you mean waiting lists? So same thing here. Now, of course, the Kadosh Baruch Hu will always accept a Baal Tshuva. No question here. But it all depends how easy he will accept it. You can come and knock on the door and the door will be open right away. And you can come and knock on the door and Hashem is going to kvetch you like a raisin, like an olive, till your kishke is going to come out. And then he's like, okay, you here? Oh, it's you. Oh, I didn't know. But nevertheless, first of all, most important to remember, Hashem always accepts the Baal Tshuva. But the question here is, how easy will it be? Is it going to be a very easy process, or you're going to be squeezed completely, all your juice, till you don't have any breath? But nevertheless, the gates of tshuva are very important gates, because we sin all the time, and we have to be very careful that, you always see it in the movies, that there's these bridges that they open like that, and there's a chase, and the car is like, we'll make it. No, we'll make it. No, we're not going to. We'll make it. And whoop, and they fly over the gate, the bridge, and they get to the other side, and then the rest fall into the water, and happy ending. But same thing with gates. Sometimes you're running with suitcases. I see it a lot in the airport. You're running with suitcase. If the gate is totally open, you run through it. But if it's starting to close and close, you're trying to get through to the little crack. So same thing with the gates of tshuva. If they're wide open for you, go ahead, just come in. Sometimes the gate is closing and closing and closing. It's going to be a little bit tough to go through. But nevertheless, with all that said, it says V'zeu pitchu sharim. This is what it means in many different places that we just mentioned. Open gates. It's talking about pitchu sharei tshuva. Open the gates of tshuva. Uvazet yigremu. And by that you will cause vayavo goy tzaddik, and that's what's going to cause for a righteous Gentile to come in. Now it's using the word Gentile, goy, but we are also called goy, by the way, in case you didn't notice. If you look at your tefillin, it says that we are a goy kadosh, a holy goy. Goy in Hebrew is a body. It's not a derogatory word. People think that goy is a not nice word. Goy means a body. But nevertheless, here is referring to Yavo Goy Kadosh, your body is holy at the end of the day, even though you're involved in many things that are not so holy, but nevertheless, you have the ability to refine the body and bring the body to a level of holiness. Now, when you open the gates of tshuva, sometimes you can cause the gates of tshuva to open. You can soften Hashem's heart and make the gates open. It's not always necessarily that it's coming from above. Sometimes the gates of tshuva, you have the ability to, those automatic gates that you click a button and it opens up. So you have sometimes the ability opening the gates of tshuva. I'm not going to start now explaining every little method, but yesterday we spoke about something over and over in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, the power of forgiveness. Because yesterday, the parasha of yesterday, of last week, we read how the nation of Israel talked bad about Moshe Rabbeinu, and then they talked bad about Hashem, and Hashem sent snakes to bite them all, and they all came and asked forgiveness, and they said, Moshe, we're sorry, we talked bad about you and about Hashem, please pray for us. And right away, Moshe Rabbeinu forgave them, and not only that he prayed for them, he forgot about it. And we explained that there are 3 levels of forgiveness. The first level is that you just forgive a person. He tells you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, it's okay, I forgive him. But that's it, but nothing really happens. The second level is when you forgive, and you don't only forgive, you also pray for the benefit and for the good well-being of the person who did something bad for you. And the third level of forgiveness is when you forgive and you forget, and you erase it from the database. It's not in the record anymore. Not only that you forgive, not only that you pray for that person to be successful, healthy, and so forth, you also completely erase it from the record. Never happened. And this is a very high level of forgiveness, and this is the level that Moshe Rabbeinu forgave the nation, what we read yesterday in the Torah. When a person really wants to make sure that he's opening his gates of tshuva, that's where one of the major tricks is to know how to, you forgive somebody else, really, then they open the gates of tshuva for you. Because they say, you did it to somebody else, we'll do it to you. It's called measure for measure, midah keneged midah. And I'm sure that each and every one of you go through your phone book, you will see a few people that you're not so much forgiving them. Maybe it's 50 years ago, maybe it's a week ago, but we all have at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 17 people that I would wish for the ground to open and underneath their legs. So, and that's not right, because I need to know how to really in my heart to forgive and forget completely. And Hashem, it's so to say, manipulates it in such a way, so he's kind of holding a card. Oh, you want me to forgive you? Now go forgive to so-and-so. That's why very soon I'm already starting to wake us up with Yom Kippur. It's 2.5 months from now. 2.5 months goes like that. Blink of an eye, we're already in Yom Kippur. We'll start doing tshuva already. So our sages teach us that a person will come to the synagogue on Yom Kippur. If there's a person out there that is angry with him or didn't forgive him, why would Hashem forgive you? That's why we have 40 days from Rosh Chodesh Elul till the 10th of Tishrei. Go ask forgiveness for people. So this is, I don't want to get sidetracked from our topic, but this is one of the ways how you make sure that the gates of tshuva are open for you. But here he says, you can open the gates. Which gates? The gates of tshuva. And when you do that, you cause to a holy body, a holy tzaddik, goik tzaddik, to come. What does that mean? Perush שיהיה תפילת הצדיק עולה עד למקום שורשה. That the prayer of the tzaddik will go to the highest level, to the where it's rooted. And again, many times I've mentioned, since there's always new students, I will always repeat myself, the normally Melech, when he says the word tzaddik, he is referring to us. He doesn't mean our Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai or the Arizal. He's talking about us, and he's going by what our sages say, V'amech kulam tzaddikim. Your nation is all full of tzaddikim, even though that verse is referring to the future, it's not referring to now. I know many people like flagging that verse by saying, oh, V'amech kulam tzaddikim, a nation of tzaddikim. Well, we're not so great. And this verse is only referring on the time of Mashiach. This is a verse that's referring to the future. But nevertheless, the normally Melech refers to us as a tzaddik. And he says, when will come this righteous goy, the prayer of you, of the tzaddik, of you, will go up to its source. Take now, what does it mean it goes up to its source? Take now a hose or some type of pipe. Fill it up with water. Now, try to look on my hands what I'm doing. If you will hold one point high and then the other point low, if you will level them, then the water will be even in the hose. Now, lower one of them, then water will come out from the top, because the water will always go up to its level. You relate with what I'm saying? I'm sure you once in your lifetime at least experienced something like that. That's if you want to pump water out of something. Sometimes, when I was young, I had these huge water tanks, aquariums. How would you pump water? You take and then whoop, and then all you need to do is you lift the pipe, the hose, whatever it is, to the level of the water, and water will come out. So when it says the prayer will go back to its root, then just imagine the same thing. Wherever the prayer is rooted from, that's how high it's going to go back. It cannot go higher than that. And that's not only for the prayer, it's also when we're talking about the root of my soul. If my root of my soul is rooted in a certain sphera, it can go down, but eventually will go up to the same place. It cannot go above my root. We talked about that a couple months ago in the Zohar class, where the souls are rooted from. The souls are rooted from the sphirot in the world of Atzilut. Nevertheless, you know how many times your prayer doesn't reach to its place? I think on a daily basis I talk to people and people tell me, you know how many times I prayed and it didn't work? Because I always tell people when they have a problem, pray for Hashem. Why do you think Hashem gave us the power of prayer? I prayed for it already for so long. And Hashem, no, I didn't get it. Well, probably yesterday there was a young man who came to ask me something, and I told him, pray to the Kadosh Baruch Hu. I prayed a lot. So I told him, either you didn't pray enough, or you really don't want it. And this is the teachings of Rabbi Nachman from Breslau. He says, either if you didn't get what you have, what you want, there's two options. Either you didn't pray enough, or really, deep down inside, you don't really want it. There's some type of a block in you that you don't want to. But nevertheless, believe it or not, many times our prayers don't go up to where they're supposed to reach. Now, when a person opens the gate of tshuva, and it says, and comes a goy tzaddik, means that tefillah, our prayer, goes up to the place where it's rooted from. כי לפעמים היא מעוכבת מלעלות, sometimes the prayer is being held up, it doesn't go up, מחמת הרשעים. Because why? Because we have sins. לכן תשובו. That's why Hashem says, make tshuva. I create these, so to say, platforms above me, that when it's come to go up, I'm blocked, I can't go up. So, and what is that? That's my sins. My sins hold my prayers from going up. I have to break these barriers, these platforms, so to say. So Hashem says, so do tshuva. Do tshuva, you'll break them, your prayer will go up. Now, what does it mean, shomer emunim? Shomer emunim is a very trustworthy guard. That a lot of people experience that people fail them. And they have trust in a certain individual, and then the person lets them down. And the person is like, no, I trusted that person, and he mamash let me down. But sometimes there is a person that you say, that person, I will give him my life. I trust that person with my life. This is called shomer emunim. Emun is faith, and this faith between me and another person. And the keeper, the shomer emunim, some people, that person, doesn't matter, that the world will turn upside down. I know I can go to that person. So what does it mean, shomer emunim? Ze ka'el Hashem yitbarach. Here we're talking about the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And the ones who walked in now, we're talking about a verse in Yeshayahu. That the verse in Yeshayahu says, Pitchu sha'arim, open gates, ve'yavo goy tzaddik, and will come a holy goy, shomer emunim. So we're explaining what's open the gates, what's this yavo goy tzaddik, this is my body, after I do tshuva, my prayers, they go and ascend. Who's the shomer emunim? This person, this individual that I can trust with my life, of course is going on the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Kadosh Baruch Hu will never let you down. Why are we calling him shomer emunim? HaShomer hu mamtin matai tavot tfilat HaTzadik. His shomer means he's guarding, but shomer is also when you guard. What do you do when you guard? I don't know if you ever guarded. I had this job once. It's one of the most boring jobs in the world. You're just standing. What are you waiting for? I don't know. I'm waiting. In the army, you guard all the time, especially in the beginning. That's the jobs. You guard 2-3 hours, sleep 2-3 hours. Guard 2-3 hours, sleep 3 hours. What do? You don't have to do anything. You can't even chew gum. I mean, you can't even do anything. If you do anything, this is called you breaking the guard. Now, sometimes you're guarding like a bag of beans. Why am I guarding the bag of beans? Just because that. So I'm not joking. Sometimes in the basic training, you're not in a dangerous place. It just make you guard all day long. And if chas v'shalom, you close your eye, court-martial. You look around, court-martial. So, what do you do when you guard? You wait. You wait for something to happen. Even if you enjoy the job. It's not an enjoyable job. I used to work in security after the army. Such a boring job. It sounds like very fancy. I'm holding a gun, and if something's going to happen, I'm going to be the one who's shooting. But sometimes you're waiting for months, and nothing happens. You're standing in the gate. Maybe somebody will come and annoy me. Maybe I'll have some action here. Nothing. Maybe a dog once in a blue moon will pass there. So when you guard, you know what you're doing? You're waiting. So that's why it says on the Kadosh Baruch Hu, shomer. He's guarding, but he's not only guarding, he's waiting. So it says here, umamtin, he's waiting, matai tavot tfilat tzaddik. When will the prayer come already? Yeah, we're going to dedicate the class, Bezrat Hashem, to the Ilui Neshama of Yaakov Shimon ben Yosef and Refuah Shlema of Avraham ben Hadassah Genya. Bezrat Hashem. Yaakov Shimon ben Yosef should have an aliyah, and Avraham ben Hadassah should have Refuah Shlema, immediate recovery. Bezrat Hashem. So, why are we saying shomer and waiting? He's waiting. No, when will this prayer come up already? Hashem is just waiting for you to get your act together. And then, why do we say shomer? That when finally that prayer comes, then Hashem holds it. You know, not too long ago, my daughter, she made to me a little card, and it's class or something, and it says something like, Abba is dad, I love you, whatever it was, and you know, and then there's like a stick, and 2 sticks coming out of the stick, and like a little circle, and like some scribble, and I was like, what's that? That's you. And I'm like, really? That's how you see me, like a stick with 2 sticks? No, that's your hands. I was like, what's the scribble here? That's your yarmulke. And there was like 2 hairs coming out, and I was like, wow, I look, if that's how I look in the eyes of a 5-year-old. No beard. Yeah. And there was also sticks at the bottom, you know, there's how you make the human has a stick and another few sticks. But nevertheless, she made little hearts and covered it with some sparkling and whatever it is. It didn't look like it didn't look like a Van Gogh, but never it is. She came to me with it, and it's so meragesh. It's emotional. It's like wow. And I couldn't throw it. I mean, it literally looked like a piece of paper. But she took her time and she expressed her feelings. So I have it next to my computer if you ever come and visit and you see like a little stick with, that's me. Some people ask, what's that? That's me. So, but nevertheless, it's next to my computer and I'm holding it. I know it sounds very mushy, but so same thing here. The Kadosh Baruch Hu finally gets a prayer with some tears. He's holding it. He's like, finally, Moishele, finally said a prayer. So he says, Shomer Emunim, he's holding it. And why he says emunim? Because I believe in the Kadosh Baruch Hu. When I pray with my tears, I believe in Hashem. It's very emotional for the Kadosh Baruch Hu when I break down in tears. You want to convince Hashem to do something? Break down in tears. So the Baal Shem Tov says there's nothing more powerful than a lev nishbar v'nidkeh, when your heart is broken and you're on your knees and you're crying. So what? Yeah. When you break into tears, that's when the Kadosh Baruch Hu, you open all the gates of mercy. So he says here, Shomer Emunim goes on the Kadosh Baruch Hu. The Kadosh Baruch Hu is waiting, he's guarding, and he's waiting. He's waiting for the prayer, and he's guarding the prayer finally when it comes there. V'shomer et atfilah lomar alav amen. And you know what the Kadosh Baruch Hu says on your prayer? Amen. We now hear all the time, brachot, shakol yamid varo, amot zilechim min haaretz. We answer amen. You know, the sachar of the person who's answering amen is greater than the reward of the person who said the bracha. So not only that, if you take the numerical value of the word amen, is 91. And another equivalent numerical value is on the word malach, angel. Malach is also 91. And every time you say amen, you create a good angel that surrounds you, and you have all these good angels around you from saying amen. Amen, basically amen is an acronym of El Melech Ne'eman. As you say, Shakon Yamidoro, I say, I agree. You are 100% right. I agree with you. So just by agreeing, just by acknowledging, don't say Amen. So even for halacha, if you say the Amen before the end of the bracha, it's called Amen Yetoma. You said Amen for nothing. If you said the Amen after the bracha, sometimes people have a very long delay. You say bracha, 2 minutes later, Amen! What are you saying Amen? No, you said a bracha. So if you said after, it's like you didn't say nothing. If you say Amen, this is called Amen Chatufa. You like grabbed it. Sometimes in the repetition of the Chazarat Hashatz in Shmona Esrei, you hear people say Men. I mean men. Say Amen. Why saying men? So Amen is a very big thing. We disregard a little word. But just know that every time that you say Amen with all your heart and you listen to the prayer, you're creating a good angel, a malach. More than that, your reward is greater than the person who did the mitzvah, that said the bracha. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu is also saying amen to our prayers. When I sing a prayer, Hashem is waiting to hear the prayer and to say amen. Now, you know, if you don't hear the prayer, you're not allowed to say amen. Sometimes it's a very big shul, a lot of noise or whatever it is, and somebody stands at the end, the chazan speaks soft, so people answer amen because everybody says amen. This is a balloon full of air. If you didn't hear the blessing, you can't say amen. Sometimes my kids tell me, Abba, you didn't say amen. I didn't hear a blessing. So next time don't whisper, and I'll hear the bracha. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu also likes answering amen to our brachot. Now what does it really mean amen? Lehaskim imo bedavar she'elotav linaten lo. That I agree with you. If I say amen, it means I'm agreeing with what you just said. So when a Kadosh Baruch Hu answers amen to my blessing, he agrees with me in what I'm requesting, and he says, Amen, I will give it to you. All you need to do is just ask. Now he continues, he says, V'zeu gam vayar Balak. Now we're going to go back to our topic, what we're talking about Balak, and we mentioned that there's a verse starting the parasha by saying vayar Balak. And I said that you can translate it as, and he saw. Vayar comes from the word lirot, and he feared mi'irah. What exactly was going on there? The first goes, Vayar Balak ben Tzipor, et asher asa Israel ha'emori. Balak ben Tzipor, the sound of he saw what the nation of Israel did to the nation that is called Emori. What did he do to them? In other words, he kicked his turchas. The nation of Israel, they came into the nation of Emori and they destroyed them. So this is pretty scary. Can you imagine how seeing a little army going and defeating these massive armies? So Balak saw what the nation of Israel did to the nation of Emori. והבין שבוודאי מחמת גודל צדקת ישראל ניצחו. Then he figured out there's no chance they can win physically. Such a small army next to a huge army must be that they're in a very high level, they're tzaddikim. Because they're so righteous, then they won. Not only that, Emori is a small country. The nation of Israel won two other big countries, Sichon and Og. Sichon and Og is kind of equivalent. Take now the Israeli army and they go to war with the Russian army and defeat them. That's more or less or the American army. So you have on one side Sichon, one side Og, this little Chachkesh army with little swords. They're defeating them in a way that is not normal. Something like the 6-day war, but even greater than that. Now Balak sees that, he's like, oh my gosh, he's going to make chopped meat out of me. What am I? I'm nothing. Lechach, therefore, Vayagor Moav. That's right away he became very petrified. Yagor means he became extremely petrified. Mipnei Ha'am, from this nation. Why? Perush mipshutei Ha'am. He didn't look at Moshe Rabbeinu, the tzaddik. He looked at the simple people and he was afraid of them. He didn't see them as warriors. He saw them as tzaddikim. And he was afraid. It says, Mipnei Ha'am. He doesn't say that he was afraid of Moshe, seeing this powerful leader. He saw the simple people and he was like, from them I'm afraid. Asher einam ki'im b'madregat yirah. And he says, these people are in such a high level of fear of Hashem that they're successful, they're powerful. Hayu Moav mityara'im mehem, Moav, the nation of Moab, this is the nation of Balak, and they were frightened, they were very scared. Ki ha'adam, lefi madregato, any person according to his level, she'oved kach mamshich alav, the same level that you serve Hashem, that's the level that you bring on yourself kedusha. If you serve Hashem, that you show up to the shul once a week, and once a month you come to a class, and once a year you do something, then this is what you're able to arouse. But you come 3 times a day to the shul, and you learn 3 hours a day Torah, and you give a lot of charity from your money, and you help people, and you follow the Torah, then the same volume of what you give, that's what comes back. And don't think for 1 second that your enemy doesn't see that. You don't see that. You don't feel that you're radiating Kedusha. You sit in a yeshiva and learn for 4 hours a day. You go out to the street. You are radiating Kedusha. It doesn't matter what you did. You understood. You didn't understand. You sat. You sacrificed your time. Now people see that. So people will give you more respect. People will see you in a higher level. Your face is shining in a completely different way. Go out of the casino, then your face would look completely different. But nevertheless, it says, Ha'adam lefi madregato she'oved, in the level that the person is serving Hashem, kach mamshich alav. That's what he brings on himself. V'otan she'avdu mi'ira, and the ones who serve Hashem from fear, himshichu al atzmam yira, they bring on themselves fear from the world above. Yira milemala. V'hayu ematam mutelet al sonehem. Now the fear falls on their enemy. So if we do our job, you think we have any chance against all the armies around us? If chas v'shalom now they decide to attack us, we are surrounded with more than 1 million soldiers. It's a sixth of our population. There's more than 1 million soldiers around Israel right now. There's more than 2 million missiles that aimed at us. If they decide, they just sneeze on us and we're in the water. But if chas v'shalom they decide to attack, You think they can do anything to us? Nothing. We are covered around us not with an iron dome, with Hashem's dome. Why? The more fear we have from Hashem, the more fear our enemies have from us. That's why I constantly say, every Jew that comes to Eretz Israel, an observant Jew, we are pushing our enemies more to the sides. That's why you see now, Baruch Hashem, more and more people come to Eretz Israel, and the majority of them are observant. One observant per Jew that comes to Israel and serves Hashem from fear, then it says, Echad yanif revava, you're moving 1,000 people away. So our enemies are petrified from us. We have a small army, we have a very small border, but they're shaking from us. Why? Because when we serve Hashem from fear, and we all serve Hashem from fear, then we put this fear, we bring fear down to the world, and this fear goes on our enemies. And that's what happened to Moab. And the rest of the nation, because they were the nation of the generation was serving Hashem. So the fear fell on their enemies. This fear would be thrown on their enemies. And therefore Moab saw that. He was shaking in his pants. He was afraid. You have to look at the psukim, at the verses. That he wasn't afraid of Moshe. He wasn't afraid of Yoshua. He wasn't afraid of Aaron. He was afraid of the nation. He says, these are dangerous people. All they need to do is pray, and I'm gone. Vayakotzu mipnei bnei Israel, and then they fell trembling of fear, and they were moving away from the nation of Israel. Pirush otam hamerumazim bevchinat Israel ve'em tzadikim gdolim. The ones who have the word Israel on them, we are called the nation of Israel. The name of Israel is on us. Then, if we serve Hashem how we're supposed to do, then the name of Hashem is on us, and this is going on the tzadikim agdolim ha'ovim ma'ava. We also have in our nation the ones who serve Hashem from fear, and we also have the great tzaddikim that they serve Hashem from love. Here we're talking about the real tzaddikim. A great tzaddik only serve Hashem from love. And the name of Israel is placed on us. They bring on themselves this huge love. That's why the nation of Moab, they were like, we're not going to be able to fight this while they're still alive. That's why the nation of Moab, they had to die, they had to cease to exist, because a rasha, a wicked person, cannot accept love. If I'm serving Hashem with love, doesn't matter right now how much love I put, how much fear I have, but I serve Hashem with love, then I get back this love. And a wicked person cannot accept love. That's how it works. It's impossible for a wicked person to receive love, specifically in his heart, belibo. That's why they had to cease to exist by the love that came down, and they couldn't receive it. Period. So what do we take from that? Very, very simple. First of all, and most important, that this all happened, if you remember, at the end of the 40 years, not in the beginning of the 40 years. And in the beginning of the 40 years was the golden calf. There was tons of complaints. There was the spies. There was constantly events. And needless to say that the Kadosh Baruch Hu numerous times wanted to destroy the nation. But nevertheless, they were able to do tshuva. They were able to open the gates of tshuva. And when you open the gates of tshuva, you are able to reach to the source of the prayer where the Kadosh Baruch Hu agrees with you. Practically saying is, I have to understand that first of all, nothing stands in the gates of tshuva. You might have a little crack. You might not be able to open the doors very, very easy. But there's no such a thing that the Kadosh Baruch Hu will ignore somebody who wants to do tshuva. He might let you knock a few times, but eventually he will open the door. So first and most important, we have to understand what it means, the power of tshuva. And more to understand is you can fall into despair by saying, I knocked so many times, it didn't work. That's what the young guy who was talking to me yesterday in the lunch. He's like, I tried already. What do you mean you tried? You're 19 years old. What do you mean you tried? How many? Well, what did you try? No, I tried already. Well, now you're giving up. When you're 19, maybe it will take you 15 years. 15 years? Yeah, maybe it will take you 15 years. What's 15 years compared to eternity? So we have to understand that we're all kind of sharing some type of a common denominator, that we're all stuck in some type of a puddle of mud. One person has a problem with gambling, another person has a problem with alcohol, another person has a problem with the internet. Everybody has something that is holding them down. And everybody. I never met one person that says, no, I'm totally... and everybody. And it might not be something as severe as drugs, so it might be something small. There's no such a thing as somebody on earth right now that is not dealing with some type of a challenge. And unfortunately, sometimes it's 10 challenges at the same time. I told you, I went not too long ago on a tour in America, doesn't matter which neighborhood, a very observant neighborhood. And one man comes to me, tells me, listen, I gotta tell you, I have to tell you something that's on my heart. It's very hard for me. I must look like a stone. Everybody thinks I'm the Wailing Wall. Everybody comes to talk to me. And he tells me, I have a problem. It's very hard for me. I don't know what to do. I don't know who to turn to. I was convinced he's about to tell me that he's cheating on his wife. Because the community, before I went to that community, that's what they all told me. Believe it or not, I was in a community, an observant community in North America, and everybody's there cheating with everybody. It's unbelievable. And everybody came to me, don't tell anybody, listen, I don't know who to say, but I'm with him, she's with him, he's with her, he's with him. Unbelievable. I was like, what's going on here? This is, he's with him, he's with him, him with him. So Hashem Erachem. This is an observant community, a very large community in North America. And I was like shocked. I was like, what's going on here? So then I go to the different community, and I was convinced he's going to tell me that he's also cheating on his wife. He tells me I have a serious problem with gambling. Gambling. So he says, no, I can't. Sorry, I'm not trying to hurt anybody. But I just can't, I can't understand the gambling. I can understand drugs. I can understand women, alcohol. Gambling? You're taking your money and I know it's a rush. The guy tells me, I told him, so what's the problem? It's just bet $200. He's like, that's still $100. I need to put 100,000. 100,000? Why don't you come to my yeshiva and you can gamble here every day? So there's something I don't understand, but obviously everybody has their weaknesses. The sad part that everybody from that community, very wealthy community, they're all into gambling. And I cannot understand that. So, not gambling on each other, gambling on horses, on games, on whatever it is. It's very sad to see, but you see that there's no such a thing. You can't run away from the trap of the Yetzer Hara. He will pull you down into something. The point to take from here is not to chas v'shalom break our spirits, is to understand that the only way of breaking out of it is you have to do tshuva. Because you're trying to go up, it will pull you down. You try to go up, it pulls you down. There's a reason for that. First of all, the darkness of our generation is so powerful. Right before Mashiach is coming, now it's just survival mode. It's not about even winning. It's not about if you win or lose right now. Just survive. Let's see you just survive right now. And that's a big part in it. But we have to understand, because a lot of us lose bemet our faith and our excitement, or many other, because we think Hashem is like, who told me yesterday? Somebody else told me, Hashem gave up on me. Hashem doesn't give up on you. No, he's not listening to my prayers anymore. No such a thing. You might not banging too strong on the door. In our house, sometimes people come, we have this thick wooden door. So in order for me to hear it, by the way, if you knock on the door, just know, it's like, I don't know, like 12 centimeters thick. You have to knock on the door. Some people come, and they think that I can hear them from all the way up on the top. And I'm like, somebody knocking on the door? So we don't know, with the construction, all the time there's knocking. And I'm like, knocking on the door? So we have to put like an air horn there. But nevertheless, Kadosh Baruch Hu is always waiting to hear our prayers. Kadosh Baruch Hu will accept any person that wants to do tshuva. He will accept. You just have to understand that you need to knock on the door. And once you knock on the door loud enough and the Kadosh Baruch Hu opens the door, Kadosh Baruch Hu accepts the tshuva. He's just waiting for your sincere prayer to come. That's why he's called Shomer Emunim, because he's waiting for the prayer to come. When it comes, he pins it on the wall and he loves it. He cherishes it. He can't wait to just accept your prayer. And we have to understand that this is coming in connection to a nation that is trying to destroy us, Moab. Balak, he goes to Bilam to hire him to destroy us. And don't think that we don't have that now in our generation. One nation going to a different nation and saying, hey, we'll pay you. I have a lot of money. We have oil. We have power. We'll pay you. Just destroy them already. So don't think this is away from our reality. reading that every time when we celebrate Pesach. V'chol davar dor omdim alenu lechalotenu. Every generation, wicked people are standing to destroy us. And this is also happening in our generation. Don't think for 1 second we're not. There's a threat over us. But our sages say, Utzu etzav etufar davu davar v'lo yakum. The Kadosh Baruch Hu can make their plans to make them evaporate. So we have to understand that our power against our enemies is how I'm serving Hashem. I can't find my enemy face to face. How I fight my enemy is serving Hashem with fear. I serve Hashem with fear. This fear will come back into the world onto the enemies. I serve Hashem with love. This love comes back on me, and it cannot go on wicked people. That's why Moab had to be eliminated, because a rasha, a wicked person, cannot receive love. So we have to understand exactly where we're standing. We're standing in the doorstep right before Mashiach is coming, and the Zohar says, how can we hasten the redemption? Is to do tshuva. Im Israel osim tshuva, miyad nigalim. If we do tshuva, right away we get redeemed. It's all depending on our tshuva. We can now finish the whole story here. Do one big campaign of tshuva. I mean, we're trying our best, but it means that everybody has to do tshuva in their level. But we have a promise from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. All we need to do is tshuva. And we do tshuva, miyad nigalim. And it can come with bechesed v'rachamim, in mercy. So we have to understand, first of all, the power of tshuva. The Yetzer Hara is constantly going to cause us to do sins, so my prayers will not go up. So I'll be constantly pulled back into this klipa. Whether it's the gambling, the drugs, the alcohol, the parties, it doesn't matter what. Whatever you deal with. Sometimes it's something simple. Sometimes it can be just these ridiculous, immature fights between everybody. Some people, they're like involved in fights with everybody. All day long, this person said this person said that. Come on, Daikvar, no. What are you, 12 years old? Get your act together. So we all challenge it. We have some type of a challenge. And I'm not saying it to chas v'shalom hurt somebody. It's just to realize, wait a minute, there's something pulling me from below, because he doesn't want me to go up and to do tshuva and to be successful. So we're in a very crucial time in the day of age that the redemption is literally swinging on a scale. And my little action is huge. Don't think for 1 second, that's what I said yesterday, that your action is nothing. Your action is massive. Yes, you. A lot of people say, well, I'm not, I'm a nothing. What is my mitzvah worth? Then, if we're 9 guys here and we want to pray and we're missing 1 guy, we can't pray. So obviously even the most simplest person just needs to fall out of his bed and he comes to the minyan. That we have a minyan. This is coming to teach me that my little action is huge. If I'm a liar, I have a problem with lying, and all day long I lie. 1 time, shut your mouth and don't lie. 1 time you succeeded against 100 times that you failed. That 1 time balances everything. You don't even know how powerful it is. We talked about before the Shmirat Einayim, the guarding of the eyes. Fail 100 times. 1 time you move your head and it's the hardest thing for you to do, then you break all these, you shatter all these mechitzot, all these partitions. So you have to internalize constantly that you are powerful. In the sport world, it's called MVP, the most valuable player. You are an MVP, and every person needs to understand that my actions are huge. Because the Yetzer Hara is going to come and tell you, you are nothing. Well, you really think that they need you in the minyan? You really think that the Kadosh Baruch Hu needs your prayer? You really think your Torah is worth anything? You're nothing. So you're not. You are an MVP, you are a most valuable player, and our actions have to be valued the right way. And we have to understand that the gates of tshuva are ready to open at any moment. And needless to say, that's how we hasten the redemption. We all want to be already redeemed, because all this mud that I'm stuck in, not to chas v'shalom get the winds out of your sails, it doesn't mean you're going to win. You might be struggling with the same thing for the rest of your life. Only when Mashiach is going to come, he's going to pull us all out. Now, like I said before, it's survival mode. But if I want to get out of my misery, whether it's my financial stress, my bad relationships, my depression, whatever it is, I want to get out of my misery, Mashiach is the antidote. There's no other solution but Mashiach. So I have to understand, I have to go from the back door, not to go from the front door. And the back door is just do tshuva. Just do tshuva, because nothing stands in the power of tshuva. If you know how to break the barrier of tshuva, the Kadosh Baruch Hu will bestow on you so much love, so much fear on your enemies, and the enemies is not necessarily the Hezbollah. The enemy can be also the klipot that you create, and the Yetzer Hara is also your enemy. So we have to realize the trick of the game here. And there's no so much time of taking your time of saying, okay, maybe in 3 years when the kids leave home, I'll start doing tshuva. Now you do tshuva today. Today is the day, because we don't know how fast the time runs. So the point we want to take from that is how powerful tshuva is, how powerful our actions are, and that we have to do. There's no time to be passive. You can't be passive right now. You have to be very, very aggressive in your tshuva and very aggressive in how you approach your avodat Hashem. And needless to say that it's not only affecting you, it's affecting the entire world. So the Torah comes to teach me that even in Balak, is something so horrible and terrible, he came with the prophecy of the redemption, of Mashiach. You know how you know that the message is so important and powerful? The batteries went out 6 times already. And every time, this is where the Yetzer Hara really likes getting you. So I don't know if you noticed there. So I bend over, this falls, the battery falls, this goes over there. It's like when these little things that drive you nuts. So that's when you know you're really on the right track and the message needs to be heard, because the Yetzer Hara is kind of shutting the batteries over and this and that and disturbing you. So it's good. So the joke goes with the Lubavitchers and the Breslovers that Rabbi Nachman promises that whoever comes to his tziyun, his grave, and gives a pruta, a certain contribution in his name, read Tikkun HaKlali, the 10 chapters of Tehillim, and he will pull him out from Gehenom from his peot. He will grab him from the peot and pull him out of Gehenom. Okay. So the story says that one time a Breslover and a Lubavitcher, they meet in Gehenom. And the Breslover screams, Rabbi Nachman, Rabbeinu HaKadosh, I did what you told me. And Rabbi Nachman comes, pulls him out. Okay, so the Lubavitcher, who is going to call? So he calls the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And he says, Rebbe, I was your Hasid for years. I did what you told me. I went and put tefillin on people in the street, and I did chitat. I did what you told me to do. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe comes to him. He says, what do you want? He's like, get me out of Gehenom. So he gives him $1 and he says, good luck in your shlichut. You have to open a Chabad house in Gehenom. So why you think you're stuck in the darkness where you are? Not because the Yetzer Hara is trying to convince you that you're stuck in darkness, but you were sent there to light up that darkness. So if you understand the game here, if you understand the battle, then you look at it in a completely different way. If you're stuck right now in some type of a challenge and you think it's a punishment, it's a bad place, how am I getting out? You'll never get out of there. But if you understand that, the Mishnah in Tractate Avot says, "B'makom she'en ish ti'eh adam, ti'eh ish." When there's not a person there, you be the one. Hashem puts you in a dark place in the universe to light up the place with Torah and mitzvot. Sometimes you can't battle the problem. It's just, you have, wherever you are, you light up the place with your Torah, with your mitzvot, and that's your job till Mashiach come. You might be battling something for years. So this is not chas v'shalom to get you air out of your sails, but to understand that I'm a messenger in this world. And the Kadosh Baruch Hu you think He sends us to Cancun. He sends us to the darkest place in the world. So I can fight the Yetzer Hara, break the Yetzer Hara, and light up the world. B'ezrat Hashem, we should merit to understand when you wake up in the morning, if you want, write it on a note. You see we have here a note. Write it on a note. I am an MVP. I'm a very valuable player. Hashem needs me. The minyan needs me. My community needs me. My Tehillim now will affect millions of people. My learning of the Torah will affect other millions of people. I'm not joking. I'm not just trying to smear you with information. This is the reality. I work with notes. I constantly have these little notes. B'ezrat Hashem, Hashem should bless us to be very successful in everything that we do. Again, we're going to mention the name of Yaakov Shimon ben Yosef. We're going to dedicate this class to today is his yahrzeit. His neshama should have an aliyah and a refuah shloma to Avraham ben Hadassah Genia, and anybody else that needs refuah should have an immediate recovery. And we should have a refuat nefesh, not only refuat guf, the healing of our body. We should have refuat nefesh, the healing of our nefesh, of our soul, to understand how important we are, not to let the Yetzer Hara distract us from what we know, what we need to do, to be focused on our avodah, and Bezrat Hashem, since we're reading in this parasha the prophecy of the coming of Mashiach, then we should see it with our own eyes already that this prophecy should be fulfilled. And Bezrat Hashem, Techezena enenu b'shuvcha leTzion berachamim, we should see it, the coming of Hashem back to Tzion, it should be b'chesed berachamim. Bezrat Hashem should be very, very fast and speedy in our days.